Welcome everyone to today's webinar. We are super excited to tell you about our new release of the Transparency Catalog, version 4. So today's agenda, we're going to keep it short and succinct. For those of you who are new to Sustainable Minds, I'll tell you a little bit about us. Then we'll go into what's new in version 4 of the Transparency Catalog, and we'll do a demo. Anytime you can go ahead and put questions in the chat panel, and we'll either answer them during this call or leave them as you exit. There's a quick Q&A there, and we'll follow up with you about anything you want to know. All right, so for those of you who are meeting Sustainable Minds for the first time, I'm Terry Swack, and I'm the CEO and founder. Started the company in 2007, so you can see that we've been in the business of helping people make better decisions about the environmental performance of products and now the material health as well. And we've started by creating a streamlined LCA tool to use an early stage product design to help make manufacturers design greener products from the start. And as environmental reporting began to become a prominent thing in the building construction industry, we then became a program operator to apply what we knew about making LCA simpler to understand and do, and became a program operator, introduced a new kind of EPD that made the information simpler and easier to understand. And so we use this improvement loop to talk about, designing and marketing greener products as a continuous improvement loop, as it should be. So we are the only end-to-end product transparency solutions provider in the market today. We're a program operator. We develop product category rules and environmental product declarations. We actually will be the first program operator to update our technical program to the new ACLCA PCR open standard. We'll be announcing that in a few weeks. We also think it's critically important to have LCA and material ingredient disclosure expertise in the company so that the products and services we design and deliver are based on actual technical knowledge. And all of that ultimately, developing LCAs and reporting on products through EPDs are things that manufacturers are doing to create adoption for their products. And actually, let's just call it what it is. It's about product marketing at the end of the day and helping brands stand out who are committed to making higher performing products to win more business. And so the Transparency Catalog is the platform where all of the effort of doing LCAs and EPDs and other types of disclosures show up so that the industry, the building construction industry, can find those brands and their products quickly and easily to make better decisions about the projects that they're building. So, I start every presentation, whether I'm speaking to manufacturers or to building professionals, that product transparency, environmental performance, and material health are performance attributes, just sitting alongside the traditional ones like functional performance, safety, cost, aesthetics. Environmental performance, material health are performance criteria being used both by manufacturers in how they make products and now by building professionals in how they select products. So while I said just a moment ago that EPDs are created in the service to market products, the primary intent for doing LCAs by a manufacturer is to understand the environmental impacts and also material ingredient assessments, the potential risks and hazards of the ingredients they're using, to benchmark and understand what's actually in their products and the impacts of their products. They never have to disclose. The primary intent is to take that information and drive it back into product development and manufacturing to make better products. And so the manufacturers that have really been investing in transparency for some time are in fact improving their products and disclosing those improvements. And the market today cares about actual performance. Actual performance matters. I mean, it used to be that if you just had an EPD or a material ingredient disclosure, that was enough to get you into a project. But today, the market is pretty well fleshed out across, you'll see across most MasterFormat divisions and sections, with manufacturers being transparent. And now people really are looking for higher performing, lower embodied carbon products so they can build actually higher performing, lower embodied carbon buildings. So what we do is we work with manufacturers to help them build those credibly greener brands, demonstrate they understand what the disclosures mean and how they are driving it back into product development to build credibility and preference in the marketplace. And so literally to innovate and grow through greener product innovation. So with this new release of 4.0, we are specifically focusing on building construction products for high performance, low embodied carbon buildings. And low embodied carbon is really a subset of high performance. It's really looking just at the global warming potential. Embodied carbon and zero carbon is really top of mind for people today. So because what we build are products and tools and deliver knowledge that align and advance what's happening in the industry today, that impact, that momentum in the industry is what's really driving us to build knowledge and tools to support you and your customers as we pursue really transforming the built environment. As of this month, there are almost 2,000. We're getting close. We launched the catalog in 2016. There were only, at that time, 350 manufacturers anywhere in the world creating EPDs or material ingredient disclosures for products available in North America. So between 2016 and now, it's practically 1,700 manufacturers who have invested in transparency across most of the prominently used MasterFormat divisions and sections, representing tens of thousands of products now available for selection into high performance, low embodied carbon buildings. So speaking directly about this release, again, we are responding to the urgency that has come about finally in people's awareness that the built environment has to change. So, back in 2016, when we launched the catalog, we were hoping, we kind of placed a bet and said, we think EPDs and material ingredient disclosures are going to catch on. They kind of have to. Those are the multi-attribute reports that help manufacturers understand the impacts of their products and then make those impacts publicly and their improvements publicly available. But there was kind of a slow adoption from 2012 when it was first announced, to then 2016, and now 2022. There is a real urgency to change the way buildings get built. And so, we've always tried to make the information easy to find, organizing by MasterFormat. We have expertise in the company. My own expertise is customer experience and interface design. So that's what I bring to the table, making technical tools easier to use. But we're really focusing, we have and continue to really focus on making this technical information easy to understand and therefore easy to use, because actual performance matters. And so we're super excited about all of the building construction organizations and real estate owners of all sizes who use the transparency catalog every day to find products, find brands, save time, share knowledge against achieving climate goals and winning business. So we're, like I said, we've been in it for the long Hall, and we couldn't be more excited that the market has arrived, and people are really committed to transforming the way they build buildings. So getting back to making information easier to use, we've always taken the data that we get from our partners through APIs and that our data team gathers, and we don't just link to a disclosure, to an HPD or cradle to cradle or declare label. Our data team pulls that information from the disclosures and adds it to the interface in the transparency catalog so people can actually see the results of what the disclosure is reporting, not just the fact that there is a disclosure. So one of the things that's coming next month with the enhancement of HPDs to version 2.3 and the additional lists is we'll be adding a filter to for the industry to use, whether they work at Perkins and Will or whether they want to design to those requirements, that they'll be able to filter in one click and find HPDs for products that have passed the Perkins and Will precautionary list screen and disclose that there are no precautionary list chemicals in that product. And we're continuing to continue to parse the data and present it in ways that help people make decisions. So because this is a call for manufacturers, I want to share with you, I'm sure everybody's thinking about this, who actually uses the transparency catalog. And we know who uses the transparency catalog largely because they attend our webinars. We have a really successful webinar series. I'll show you some stats a little bit later. And I think when you registered for this one, we asked you a new version of these questions. Have you used the transparency catalog? Is it useful? What do you think about it? And so we've had thousands and thousands of people attend our webinars and answer those questions. And this is an example of folks from companies you probably have heard of with the names and the titles of people who have attended. And this is just like a sampling to show you the breadth of kinds of organizations and titles of people that show, everyone from an intern to principals to C-level executives across the building construction industry use the transparency catalog. And what that says to us is that we've been successful in designing a useful, easy to use tool. We've built up a considerable reach. I mean, the Sustainable Minds brand has been around since 2007, so we're not a new brand. And so over the years of delivering products and webinars and content, we've now have users all over the world. We have a highly curated mailing list that we market the catalog and our content to. We've really built a massive LinkedIn audience, and we don't do that much on Twitter. The jury's still out on that, but we get a lot of visibility for the brand and for the transparency catalog to get traffic to the catalog. We have to update this slide with last year's webinar results, which were even more profound than the year before, but this just gives you a sense of the number of webinars that we produce and the number of attendees, registrants. But the really surprising thing is how frequently these webinars are viewed on YouTube after they've been done. And I think actually in 2022, it was over 30,000 minutes that people watched our webinars, and I think we did one less. So the stats are pretty compelling to indicate people want and need this information, and they want to know about manufacturers who are actually making better products, and they want to understand this entire space so they can actually make better decisions. And what's happened, and this is just some stats from last year. I'm going to wait for some more stats to build up for this year, but we just continue to see the trend in users, new users, session time continue to increase month over month, again, as the market continues to evolve, construction, government, more engaged in EPDs and environmental performance, and we continue to deliver more content and easier to use functionality. So in this particular release, what we've done is we listen to users. We're constantly talking with people in the building industry. We're constantly talking with our manufacturing customers to understand how to improve both the user experience of both types of users, but also to address the challenges that each type of user is having in the marketplace. Again, making better decisions about products for buildings, and manufacturers helping to get their brand, their products in front of those people looking for the products that you make. And so in this release, we have enabled people to get content out of the catalog and into their own internal libraries, specification and basis of design libraries, because physical libraries are kind of going away. More firms increasingly are building their own digital libraries. Workflows are changing, and being able to have access to continuously updated content, but internally, is really valuable to the way people are trying to change how they work and execute projects. So the highlights for this release are free accounts to export selected products. And what you'll see when I show you what an export looks like is the link to the manufacturer's transparency catalog listing is in the export, so that even if that content is now uploaded into a digital library on someone's desktop or in a shared server, the link to the transparency catalog listing is there, so they can always return back to your listing to find all current content, any new products, also your contact form, which I'll show you. And it includes the link to the product page on your website, because that's in the listing. So I'll show you everything that's in the export. It's all still designed to drive people back to the manufacturer's website and back to the manufacturer's listing in the transparency catalog. We've implemented 2 new filters. Filters are no innovative kind of feature, but again, based on how people are using the catalog and what information they're looking for, we've made it even easier and more useful for people to find the stuff they're looking for about better performance, and the manufacturers who have actually better performing products are easier to find. The contact form, we've been rolling out over some time, but those have gotten more robust. More manufacturers have them to help industry reach directly into the manufacturer's organization, or have you get in touch when they want to talk to you, which is when you want to talk to them. And finally, rolling out a framework for manufacturers to be able to make more of their sustainability documentation or product documentation accessible through the transparency catalog listing. And I say accessible through the transparency catalog listing because we don't believe in manufacturers having to manage content about their products someplace that isn't their website. That's too much work. That is too hard. You'll see the transparency catalog listing is really like a micro website for the manufacturer, that we aggregate links to all of the stuff that people are looking for, who are looking for high performing, low embodied carbon products, and send them to the places where that content or those disclosures actually live. I'm going to pick up the pace here. This is what a listing looks like. It's a template. It's easy to onboard manufacturers. It doesn't take a lot of your time. You get your own customer success representative who you're going to work with consistently going forward. The contact form helps you help building industry folks get in touch with the right people or find the right way to source distributors, specifications, anything else that you're already aggregating and providing through your website. And we've had a partnership with the EC3 tool since they launched. We have a custom API they developed for us where we simplified the comparative results so that in a glance, a user can see where in that range of results of products in a category that particular product nets out compared to others. So 20th percentile is the best. That's the lowest. You want to be in the lowest embodied carbon. So now users can literally in a glance see the level of embodied carbon in a product and then click the link and go right into the EC3 tool digital EPD. And there's a cross-linking strategy. If a user's in the EC3 tool, they get down to the EPD level or even to the manufacturer's page level in the EC3 tool. There's a link to their transparency catalog listing to kind of connect the last mile so they can find more product information as well as the contact information. So in this release, we added this very simple filter to be able to filter by EC3 quintile. So user can come in, click on any MasterFormat section, apply any other filters, whether it's selecting brands or rating system credits or disclosure types, or they can just use that filter and find every manufacturer who has a product with an EPD that's showing it's in the 20th percentile. And now they can select all of those, export products to a spreadsheet and be on their way. The other little filter we added was filtering for optimized EPDs. We already had made that possible in the rating system filter. We pulled out a section for the optimization credits from lead and well so that people could look for disclosures that can contribute to those credits. But it turns out that in the analytics dashboard that manufacturers get as part of their transparency catalog subscription, it turns out that that EPD, that lead EPD option 2 credit is the most searched on credit by far. And so to make it even easier for people in the disclosure type filter, we've now added a little checkbox for optimize because people may be looking for manufacturers who are optimizing their disclosures, but they're not necessarily pursuing a lead certification. And so now there's 2 ways for people to find optimized disclosures. Now, what's new in the manufacturer's analytics dashboard, which gives the manufacturer every manufacturer's data. So you don't only get your own performance data, you get every other manufacturer's performance data as well. And that's because our strategy is we want to grow the entire marketplace, and what better way to do that is to help create competition. So you can see how you're doing relative to others in your own category, other categories. And the new report we've added is the exports report. So now you'll be able to see how frequently your products are being exported in the new select and export feature. Finally, this is the new content structure that we're rolling out, where again, we're not adding content to the transparency catalog listing. We're adding information about what other sustainability disclosures and reports the manufacturer has, and then telling you where you can go get them. So we're either going to, and we'll work with each manufacturer to either tell a user to go to a downloads page on their website. A lot of manufacturers have that, where all the disclosures are that you can just download, or we'll have some language that says you can find each of these kinds of certificates on the product page, which is that link right there. So go visit the manufacturer's product page and you'll find all this stuff that they have. Or If you're a manufacturer who has invested in mindful materials, then we'll link there. So people can go to mindful materials and find all of the content in addition to what we have here, the EPDs and material ingredient disclosures. They'll be able to go find it there. So you're only managing all your content in one place, and then you're choosing where you want us to send users, to your website, to the product pages, to mindful materials. So we just have a couple minutes left. I'm just going to jump right to the demo. And as I do that, what we want to really reinforce is that the annual subscription for the transparency catalog gets you a lot of stuff, but what it also does is it prioritizes your brand over brands that have not yet been activated, or we call free listings. And the reason that manufacturers with subscriptions show up before free listings is because they have more content. They're more useful to users. And so, you know, people don't just specify disclosures, they specify products with disclosures. And the analytics bear out that brands with products get 5 to 50 times more visibility in every MasterFormat section over a free listing. We would be happy to meet with any of you after this call and walk through all of the deliverables included in the annual subscription. And here to just do a quick demo, a user can come to the website. They can, if they're looking for a particular brand, they can log in and see the all brands page and navigate that way. So the brands that have added their products and have the annual subscriptions are bold and green. The others are free listings that have all of the disclosures and no product information. So a user might go through the all brands page, or they might say, hey, I'm working on Division 7. Maybe I'm working on a particular section. I can pick one. I don't need to pick one. I'm going to hit go. So here I am in 0721 thermal insulation. It is a massive section with 120 brands and 668 products. Now, a user might say, well, you know, I want to look at rating system credits. I might want to look at disclosure types. But for the purposes of demoing what's in this release, they might say, before I even go in to start selecting any of these specific sections of products I'm looking for, just show me all the manufacturers who have EPDs for all of those products that are in the 20th percentile. And it's still a lot. It's 24 brands and 73 products. Then the user might end up saying, well, I'm not looking for roof and deck right now. Let me get down to what I am actually looking for. And I'm looking for thermal insulation. And they can continue to select and say, you know, I don't want sprayed, I don't want blown. I'm looking for, you know, board and blanket. And here we are with 6 brands, 38 products. They may decide to do their research now. They might go ahead and click here and go to the Owens Corning website, or they might say at this point, you know, I want to do my research later. I'm going to select all for export, and I'm going to export those products. And you can see it just generated a spreadsheet. I'm going to open it in Microsoft, sorry, not in Microsoft, in Apple numbers, and only because when you open a CSV file in Excel, it's not as nicely formatted. So I just am opening it in numbers. So you can see that in the spreadsheet, you've got the name of the company, you've got the transparency catalog URL, you've got the MasterFormat section, the name of the product, the URL of the product page on the manufacturer's website. So offline, again, the user can go do that research. And then all the information in the product table. Do they have an EPD? What type is it? The scope and regionality. Here, because I used the 20th percentile export filter, I can see that it's in the 20th percentile. I've got the expiration dates, and I've got all the other data about the other material ingredient disclosures that they have. We're really at the top of our hour, and that's my demo. I would invite any of you to leave a note as you exit if you'd like to learn more about the Transparency Catalog and what it can do for your business. And for those of you who are customers who are on this call, thank you for coming. You've saved us a little bit of time briefing you on what's new. And I wish you all a great day.